I don't want to have a beer with my president. I don't want my president anywhere near a bar. I want him at work, working to make sure the country is safe, making sure that our environment is being protected and healed, and that our people are being cared for. More importantly, I want him to stand up and speak out against something he knows is wrong, even when it's unpopular. Barack Obama, during his election for the Senate, he hadn't even been elected yet, stood up and presented the very unpopular viewpoint that the war in Iraq was a mistake. And he was right, when everyone else practically was saying he was wrong. John McCain was a follower in that instance. Barack Obama was a leader, and that's what I want my president to be. I want him to consider foreign policy matters with perspective and reason, to trust the knowledge of learned scientists in regard to energy and global climate concerns, to be able to change his mind, God forbid, if he's presented with new information that changes the playing field. I don't want belligerent, short-sighted catchphrases like drill, baby, drill, or bomb, 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 Iran. I don't want him to be old and out of touch. I want him to be young and smart. I want him to be Barack Obama, a man who Republicans have tried to belittle by calling him a celebrity in the mold of Britney Spears or Paris Hilton. Well, I'll tell you, I know Paris Hilton. I've partied with Paris Hilton. Barack Obama is no Paris Hilton. Now, you may think it's unfair of me to attack McCain's age, but look at the fact. He's 72. If elected, he'll have his finger on the nuclear button. My father is 62. We don't let him use the microwave. As a result, if you vote for John McCain, you seriously have to consider the possibility of a President Palin finishing out the term, which to me is terrifying. This is a person who is shielded and hidden from the press for fear by her own party of what she might say. Now, if she can't handle herself against Katie Couric, how is she supposed to handle herself against Vladimir Putin? To put things in perspective, I'm going to read a piece of transcript from the Sarah Palin interview in the voice of Peter Griffin, because it kind of weirdly fits. Katie said, "What?" Those are the jokes they're not allowing me to do. What other Supreme Court decisions do you disagree with besides Roe v. Wade?
Well, there's, of course, in the great history of America, there have been rulings that there's never going to be absolute consensus by every American, and there are those issues, again, like Roe v. Wade, where I believe are best held on a state level and addressed there. So, you know, going through the history of America, there would be others, but
that's where that answer ends. Can you think of any?
I would think of any, again, that could best be dealt with on a more local level. Maybe I would take issue with, but, you know, as mayor and as a governor and even as vice president, if I'm so privileged to serve, wouldn't be in a position of changing those things, but in supporting the law of the land as it reads today.
Can you think of any examples besides Roe v. Wade?
Tyson versus Spinks?
She didn't say that. That's me embellishing. This could be our vice president and possibly our president, and she answers questions like Chevy Chase. It's Katie. Besides the Supreme Court Roe v. Wade, it is because of the term limit, and it's, I think for some amount of time. Sarah Palin is also very pro-life, of course, unless the life is that of an Iraqi civilian or a wolf running frantically from a roaring helicopter while being strafed with ribbons of automatic weapons fire. Machine gunning animals from the sky as a political policy in Alaska. Isn't that cartoonishly evil? Isn't that something Jafar would do? Do we want to elect Shredder, our vice president? The fact... That's the idea, thanks. The fact is, your generation is going to be left with some very serious problems, and most of them were created by the very people who want you to keep them in power in November. And I'm here today to ask you to tell them no. Show them you are young and smart by exercising a civil right that has not yet been taken away from you, your right to vote.
Yes.
Help us all by electing the man who will steer America into the future, away from more of the same. The only candidate who will cut middle-class taxes, who will make health care and college education affordable to everyone, not just the rich, who will protect our environment with vigilance. I ask you to exercise your right to vote early in Ohio. Please elect Barack Obama, our next president. Thank you. And I think we have some time to take some of your questions here. So, fire away. Look. He's a fan. What? I don't do that voice. That's somebody else. Big fat phony? That's. I'm sorry. Big fat phony. It's the best I can do. Brian can understand Stewie. Chris can kind of understand him, and the rest of the family only gets the gist of what he's saying.
I love you.
Good. Well, that's a very good question. I'm torn between his character and what I think. Well, Stewie would probably vote for McCain because he's big on world domination. What?
Please stop that guy.
Oh, God. How badly are you regretting this? Yes.
I want to ask Sarah that now. Come on, answer me. Who do you kill first? Sarah Palin or Lois?
He would probably stick to Lois. He's got a vendetta against Lois. Yeah. Oh, come on, you chickens. There you go. Will Smith's very clean rap. For those of you who didn't see the gag, it's what is it? Wipe your feet before you come in the house. Someone just clean that floor. It's that kind of stuff. That was one of our writers who came up with that. Just kind of started doing it in the room, and we thought it was funny, so we put it in the show, which is how most of those gags are written.
Yeah.
We would love to have Barack Obama on Family Guy. I don't think that it would be the best thing for him, but the offer's always out there.
We could always get him on American Dad.
Why? Because it's less visible?
Yes.
Stan Smith's the same. All right, that's scary.